Seems like you might have a chip on your shoulder.
Talks a lot of smack, which helps light that fire within me. I'm getting messages from people from New York telling me to knock Edgar out.
Really?
Yeah, I go out there, throw a few jabs, stick a nice right hand straight on his chin.
July 12th, New York City is gonna be on fire because Ring Magazine is bringing to the zone HAMZAH Sheeraz versus Edgar Berlanga. And guess who I have with me now? HAMZAH Sheeraz. What's up, brother?
I'm all good, yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. Okay, seems like you might have a chip on your shoulder because of your last fight. And what I always say is that when a man gets a draw, the next person has to pay for that.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel?
Exactly that. And what an opportunity I've got to prove otherwise. When this fight got presented to us, that's exactly what's going through my mind. I'll go in there now, I'll show them what I was meant to show them. And this is it, July the 12th, it starts there.
So it's not even personal with Berlanga.
No.
This is you, it's your own
this
fight
is,
inside.
Exactly, I'm fighting that voice in my head. That's what I'm fighting. Berlanga's just the man in the way. Talks a lot of smack, which helps light that fire within me.
Oh.
And once that's lighted, you know that when I go in there, it's gonna be bombs away.
Right, so one thing he has said at the press conference was, oh no, maybe he said it later, he said something like, hey, you're Turkey's guy. He has plans for you to fight Canelo. Is that in your mind, or are you like, I gotta get Carlos Adames back?
That was the case, but I couldn't make 160 anymore. So,
really?
Yeah, I spoke to Turkey, who was meant to have the rematch, but I couldn't make 160. My last fight was the final cut I could do at it.
Right.
So 168, Berlanga was the man, his home, his city, and let's go. It's coming to take it all away from him.
So what was the issue with that fight? With Adames?
That I just couldn't make the weight anymore.
That's it.
And when I was planning to do it, there was a point in me where I sat down with my team and we said we can push it. He priced himself out. He gave a stupid figure. And then I was like, all right, cool, we'll knock that on the head, and I just, for a start at 168.
Does that bother you though? Because
it's always going to be there, innit? I
mean, you didn't lose.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But I had a blip early on in my career as well, and that's always there as well. So I've learned how to deal with these things. You can't think about what's happened in the past because you can't change it. What you can change is the future, and that's exactly what I'm planning to do. Change the perception of how HAMZAH Sheeraz fights come in July the 12th.
Okay, so 2 questions.
Yep.
Rate Edgar Berlanga as a fighter, 1 to 10, and tell me what you think about him as a person.
As a fighter, I respect his fighting abilities. I rate him out of 10, 7. Give him a 7.
Okay.
As a person, he's not my cup of tea. He's not my cup of tea. I think we're two completely different people, the way we dress, the way we talk, just the way we are. And that's life, but fights like that make great fights. Because when we come in the ring, we know all of that is put behind us, and it's all about who's the better man on that night.
Is this HAMZAH right here?
This is HAMZAH, man.
No tracksuit, this is you right
this
here.
This is me.
This is you, fly, suited up.
This is it. I've always kind of been attracted to that kind of the suave, the gentleman kind of aesthetic. And
so it's not loud per se, but it's still fancy.
Yeah, ish.
Fancy-ish.
Ish, but
you didn't spend a lot of money on your clothes?
No, I got a tailor, so I got looked after.
That's fancy.
But yeah, we're two different people.
If you are looking at Canelo afterwards, do you think that's possible? If you beat Berlanga, do you think that's enough to go straight to Canelo?
100%. Seeing as he's been in there with him. But then at the end of the day, I know that it's a serious fight I've got on my hands in Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, we trash talk, yeah, this, that, the other. But when you strip all that away and you've got you two in that ring and you just have your boxing abilities, you know it's gonna be a good fight, and I have to respect what he brings. But then at the same time, just respect that and not respect what he brings on the night, because then you become a negative fighter.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not on that. I'm straight in that ring and I'm gonna stick it on.
Yeah, that's wisdom. All right, so you go into this fight saying, okay, it was only the weight issue, I don't have to do anything different, or you approaching this like, no?
No, massively, because after my last fight, disappeared for about a month, 2 months, and
Was it depressing having a draw?
it wasn't that. It wasn't
Okay.
that, because it's boxing, and I understood that. It's no one's fault but my own. But what I had to do was identify the changes that I feel I needed to make in order to benefit myself and my career. And there was a few tough changes I had to make.
Is that with your trainer?
Yeah, with a trainer, with a few team members, not just him, but a few team members. Genuinely, I feel it that they're the right changes that I needed to make in order to progress in my career rather than regress.
So you said, no one to blame but yourself, but somehow the trainer had to be switched, because Andy Lee's a great trainer.
That was more for myself. It wasn't. It wasn't. Oh, I'm blaming him for the last performance. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was more for myself. I needed to switch things up. I needed to.
Because with him, you was looking like a monster.
Yeah. No, definitely. But then for my personal growth and for my growth in boxing, I needed a change, and that was one of the key differences I identified that I needed to make.
Right. I can't question that because you know what you need.
Exactly.
So how do you feel about fighting in New York, headlining at a place that no one's ever fought before?
Yeah, it's unreal. Listen, I come out here, the love you receive out here, and ever since a young child, I always watching these fighters fighting at Madison Square Gardens and fighting in America, and this is my American debut, and I feel like if I put on a great performance now, it will really catapult me into the American market.
So how do you feel about New York? Because sometimes New Yorkers could treat you bad because they just love a person, or sometimes if you carry yourself a certain way, they'll show you respect.
I'm getting messages from people from New York telling me to knock Edgar out.
Really?
Yeah, so his support, I don't know what it is like, but from what the messages I'm getting, and it's a lot of them, it's not one or two.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the I reckon from when the fight got announced to now, you're thinking over 200.
DMs,
Easy.
like
Yeah,
Instagram or something like that?
Bro. Yeah, easy, all on Instagram.
You might have to show me a
Yeah, no,
couple.
I'll show you after.
I don't know.
For real.
Really?
Then, yeah, in comments, in DMs,
Wow.
you name it. So it just goes to show that there's a lot of support here.
So you guys were going back and forth about, okay, I'm fighting you in your hometown.
Yeah, for
you were
real,
saying.
yeah.
Was it ever a choice to fight anywhere else?
No, not really.
Right.
No, not really.
Right.
It was a
just
choice
made
whether to
sense?
take the fight or not, though.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah, it was a choice whether to take the fight. It wasn't like you got to take this fight. It wasn't that. I could have easily rebuilded. I could have easily took
A softer touch because of a draw.
exactly, and going into a new weight.
Yeah.
I could have easily done that, and give myself a full sense of confidence, just like Edgar did in his last fight. Just like he did. He come out the Canelo fight, and fighters like him, they need their confidence boosted. They need the confidence boost, and I believe the way boxing is now, massive shout out to His Excellency, the way he's reshaped it, is doing injustice to the sport of boxing.
Well, he was saying that he actually wanted a bigger fight to headline.
He's gonna say that.
Okay.
He's gonna say that. But at the end of the day, you can only fight who's being put in front of you. Fair enough, but that was a bit of a disgrace.
I mean, you fought Carlos Adames, he's a champion, and you had some other good fights. On paper, is Berlanga your toughest fight?
Is he my toughest fight? He's one of them.
So not your toughest?
He's one of them, and I'm treating it as my toughest. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I'll go in that ring, and the way I'm training, the way I'm
I get that,
going about
but
things.
I'm just saying on paper, do you think he's
he's up there with Amma Williams. He's up there with Adames, definitely.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he's better than them two, no.
Last question. How does it end on July 12th?
Exactly like I said in the press conference. I go out there, throw a few jabs, stick a nice right hand straight on his chin.
And y'all made a bet, $100,000. Y'all
Yeah.
sticking to that, or that's just talk?
Oh, that's just
man?
on camera, it's a
Stop.
handshake. It's a gentleman's agreement.
Wow.
So you see it. The
Good
proof
luck.
is in the pudding.
Good luck, brother.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you July 12th.
Yes, you will.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
HAMZAH Sheeraz, live on DAZN, brought to you by Ring Magazine, July 12th.